policing the police every single day, and doing what the Charlotte County Sun newspaper and local TV stations won't do every single day.
UN like our dictator Charlotte County Sheriff Bill Prummell, who is still arresting people for victimless crimes. And still using his road pirates to give out tickets which could spread the virus. He said he's asking the state attorney if victimless crimes can go, when in reality he has the power to let them go. But he's a fucking dick and an asshole. And doesn't give a shit if they die from the coronavirus for a victimless crime. Jails consider early release for nonviolent offenders. By Carlos R. Munoz. Carlos.Munoz@HeraldTribune.com. Sarasota. A pandemic virus sweeping through Florida has slowed the state court system and threatens to swamp Sarasota Manatee County jails with nonviolent offenders whose cases have been deemed non-essential proceedings. The populations of both jails teeter on full. Law enforcement agencies say arrests must be made, but they are using discretion with some low-level offenders. Each jail averages about 800 to 900 inmates. The Manatee County Jail is licensed to hold 1,056 inmates and Sarasota County Jail can hold 984. The Florida Supreme Court issued an administrative order March 18 postponing trials, court proceedings other than essential ones or proceedings critical to the state of emergency and public health emergency. Essential hearings include first appearance, bond, shelter and juvenile detention, termination of parental rights advisory, petitions of judicial waiver of notice, Baker and Markman Acts, emergency guardianship hearings, risk protection orders, temporary domestic violence injunctions, and other emergency or time-sensitive matters determined by the presiding judge. Additionally, criminal division judges may hold necessary in-custody criminal hearings as long as the hearings are conducted electronically. There are no in-person defendants. No inmates are being sent to state prison during the statewide public health emergency. Trials are postponed until April 17. Public Defender Larry Ager said that law enforcement leaders, 12th Judicial Circuit Court administrators, the State Attorney's Office and the Public Defender's Office participated in a conference call with Chief Judge Kimberly Bonner regarding court hearings and inmates. Ager compiled a list of nonviolent defendants whose release dates are within the next 30 days. We are unnecessarily incarcerating people who do not pose a public safety threat, Ager said. Now more than ever, we are creating a public safety threat by commingling and possibly contaminating people with this virus. As the public defender, Ager attends first appearance daily. He observed that at least 3 different judges had different approaches to who was released. A full room of inmates were seated close together with about 9 bailiffs in the same room awaiting hearings. This was not a safe situation for anybody, said Ager, who contacted the health department. All jail staff and inmates are screened daily for coronavirus and other illnesses. Anyone entering the building is evaluated before coming inside. We have been working close with the 3 different jails, Manatee, Sarasota, DeSoto, as well as the Public Defender's Office and Private Defense Bar to try and identify appropriate cases for potential release from jail on nonviolent, low-level crimes. Consistent with other counties around the state, we are examining each case. We are also examining low-bond individuals. We are measuring public safety and community safety with this horrible virus. Each defendant who qualifies for accelerated release will be reviewed. An agreement must be reached between prosecutors and defendants' counsel before they can be released. Sarasota County Sheriff's Office spokeswoman Caitlin Perez pointed out that her agency cannot provide relief from bond or sentence, it must come from the courts. Restrictions. There have been no inmates at either jail who have tested positive for the coronavirus. 2 inmates at the Sarasota County Jail have shown symptoms and have been tested, 1 is still in custody. Results of the tests are pending. Randy Warren, a spokeswoman for the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, says none of the Manatee County Jail's inmates have exhibited symptoms or given medical staff a reason to test them for coronavirus. Both Sarasota and Manatee jails have contracted with a private medical firm, NAFCare Incorporated, to provide medical care inside the jail. Inmates have access to soap and water but cannot have alcohol-based hand sanitizers because of jail restrictions. Other jurisdictions are no longer picking up inmates being held at Sarasota and Manatee jails because of concerns about spreading the highly contagious coronavirus, which is passed from person to person through respiratory air droplets from an infected person. Law enforcement. Local law enforcement officers have arrested about 16 people daily around Sarasota County and about 14 in Manatee. The Sarasota Police Department will continue to write criminal citations when it's appropriate, according to spokeswoman Genevieve Judge, noting that, if appropriate, officers have been encouraged to write citations for misdemeanors rather than take someone into custody. However, if there is a concern for public safety, arrests can and will be made, Judge said. Example, anything domestic related such as domestic violence, arrests can happen. Northport Police Department said it has changed its procedures to give more discretion to nonviolent, non-emergency calls. Officers will attempt to handle these calls over the phone. We are trying to limit exposure as much as possible while not negatively impacting service levels, said Northport spokesman Josh Taylor. However, public safety still remains our #1 priority. Even during a pandemic, people require police service, and we must remain on the front line keeping everyone safe. Venice Police Captain Eric Hill said, "We would not feel comfortable discussing enforcement strategies publicly." County jails. Corrections deputies are equipped with N95 masks and gloves. NAFCare Incorporated staff also are using masks, protective shields, gloves and gowns. The Manatee County Jail has an 18-cell medical unit with 28 beds and pressurized isolation cells, each room with a separate airflow system. Part of our action plan that we developed over 3 weeks ago is to use other less populated areas of the jail another pod if we needed to isolate inmates due to the virus, Manatee County Sheriff's spokesman Randy Warren said. Neither jail has respirators. If someone has symptoms of the coronavirus, they are taken to a local hospital. Jail visitation is being conducted via video from an off-site location. PUNTA says Sarasota County Jail Commander Major Brian Mainberg has spoken with each inmate about policies, protocols, and modifications made at the agency's jail for everyone's safety. Command staff also met with every corrections employee. The command staff at our facility is really doing their very best to put people at ease during this unknown time, particularly when detainees are stressed out, may not be able to connect with their loved ones, and could have pre-existing mental health issues, PUNTA said. I am also told Major Mainberg is working closely with GTL, our electronic visitation provider, to negotiate more free access for inmates to connect with their loved ones. The Manatee County Jail is licensed to hold 1,056 inmates and the Sarasota County Jail, above, can hold 984. Herald Tribune file photo.
Hey, Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and we got to do a story on this before I play it, because what do you know? This is why it's worth doing COPWATCH and exposing the corruption. The Charlotte County Jail finally might do the right thing, and they also lied multiple times, as you see in the thing. He has told the press and the news reporters here about the prisoners here. You know, a ton of them are in there for victimless crimes. No victim, no crime. And he keeps telling them that, yes, we stop personal visits with the prisoners, and they can only have video interviews. That's fucking bullshit. That's been going on forever. Charlotte County Sheriff is a goddamn motherfucking liar. All right, he's also a felon. Sheriff Bill Prummell had an illegal list of gun owners. It's a third-degree felony, $5 million fine, and he's committing misdemeanors, violating sunshine law constantly while we're trying to uncover his corruption. Also, too, he said he is supposedly trying to let people go. He's asking the court. I just found out Sheriff has the power to release on his own. Does not need the court. Sheriff has the power himself. So that's a fucking lie, too. I'm asking the courts if I can. Fuck you, you motherfucking lying bitch. Here is the good news. I did see one of the sheriff deputies today who apparently doesn't know who I am. And he did say that supposedly the sheriff has told him to mellow down, stand down, don't give out as many tickets or arrest. That's shocking. On the website for the sheriff, it is down to I think 4 arrests. When I think there were 16 and above per day before that, so that's not bad. There's still some in there for victimless crimes, but it took a week, over a week of me, the newspaper here, and this is a motherfucking lying ass bitch. But he is finally, and who is this? NBC2 went there and confronted them, and they're telling half-truths and more lies than truths. So anyways, that is your update for the day. Charlotte County Sheriff is a goddamn fucking felon, motherfucking liar, and he's still keeping people in jail for victimless crimes, giving them a possible death sentence. I hope they sue him to hell, and he gets karma and burns in hell for this high treason and tyranny. Remember what our founding fathers said, take a goddamn country back, and you're a frog in a pot, the water is gone, get the hell out and fight. Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH. I am using any video here with under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.